great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of disease. Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode 598 of the Immigration Answer Show. We're just 2 away from episode number 600. And we're going to have a little game on Monday. Monday will be episode 600. We're going to do 599 tomorrow, and then we'll take the weekend off. We're going to have a little game called Fact or Fiction. Laura and Hina have been working on that, so thanks for that. I think they're going to be asking about whether these are things that people really asked me or talked about on the show. How's everybody doing? How's your week? Today is Thursday, no camera day. We will see what happens. Everyone's asking about Shabazz. Don't know where Shabazz is. Thank you, Vadim. Sorry about that. No. If you're in the waiting room, I do call on people who are on camera first. That's just sort of a joke about Thursday being no camera day. Donna is here. Yeah, Rohan turned off his camera and turned it back on, so that's funny. That's just a lot of times on Thursday, for whatever reason, people turn off their cameras. We don't know why. JD says, hello, James Oliver Hacking the third, but first in immigration. How about that? I like that. My old boss used to call me James O. Hacking the turd. That was my boss at the toy store when I was in high school. How's everybody doing? I'd like to see all the comments and all the interaction. We are just 2 episodes away from episode 600. Nothing truly special for that. I thought I was a badass doing a 5-hour show for episode 500. My friend and mentor, Gary Vaynerchuk, he's not really my friend. I wish he was my friend, but somebody I follow, he did an 11-hour live the other day. 11-hour live. Now that he had guests and so forth, but that was something. He's got a new book coming out, which I'm excited about, but he did an 11-hour live, if you can believe that. So Jim does like calling on people laying in bed, especially if they only have a Muscle Man shirt on or no shirt at all. That's really the highlight of the week when that happens. How's everybody doing? Donna's here, so you know that we can get ready on the mangoes. East Indian, of course. Donna gives us all the big ups. Rich is asking for her to send him some to Florida. We'll see if he did. Well, Rohan, what you got?
Hi, Jim. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I have a brother who is a U.S. citizen, and he's applied for immigration for my parents. He's filed I-130, and we are wondering if they can travel to the U.S. while that petition is pending.
Do they already have a visa?
They are Canadian citizens, so they don't need a visa.
Should be okay. They just have to be honest about everything at the border. If they're just coming for a short visit, they just want to make sure that they are upfront about it. If anybody asks, they'll probably just come right through. It's fine as long as they don't lie about anything.
Gotcha. And do they have to carry some kind of proof to show that they're not moving here permanently? That's what I'm reading online.
I think that's a good idea.
Gotcha. And last question, if the officer doesn't ask, do they still mention that, hey, we have a case pending?
No.
Okay.
Hey, everybody! Our U.S. citizen son filed an I-130 for us. Make sure to not let us in. No reason to bring that up.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Come on, see you, buddy. You got it. All right. Rahul is here. Hello, Rahul.
Hi, Jim.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Thank you for taking me in, and thank you for giving me the chance to ask my question.
Sure.
So I have a question. So basically, I've been falsely convicted, or not convicted, but falsely charged with domestic violence charges in the state of Michigan. And they've been offering me a deferral program, basically, in which I have to basically complete a set of probation, pay some fines, and then eventually the case gets dismissed if that's successful. So what I'm trying to find out is, how is that viewed from an immigration perspective? It's like a conviction, and how does domestic violence convictions, say, play out for deportability and inadmissibility from an immigration standpoint? Like, I'm currently on H-1B visa.
Mm-hmm. So assaulting another person is a deportable offense. It depends on the crime. It's in the category of cases that can get someone deported. A lot of times it depends on the state rules and what the possible sentence is. Letting somebody know whether the immigration consequences of their plea will get them deported is probably the most complicated thing an immigration lawyer does.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. If you plead guilty to it, even if you get probation or if you get like deferred sentence and all that stuff, that's still a conviction for immigration purposes. I think it would make it hard for you to get a green card, and it would make it hard for you to get a H-1B visa stamp if you have to go back home. So you said it was false. How do you prove that it's false?
Yeah, I think just through evidence, right? Like based on the facts of the case and just evidence. Like else, you just have to go to trial and prove your innocence. Correct?
Seems like maybe. Yeah.
But like, say if an alternate plea was offered, say disorderly conduct or
Then
disturbance of peace,
I'd grab it.
What's that?
I'd grab it.
Okay. So those are okay from an immigration standpoint.
I mean, I can't tell you, there's laws in 50 states, there's municipal charges, there's state charges, there's federal charges. So I don't get in that. I don't do that analysis because it's like, oh yeah, go ahead and plead guilty and then I'm liable. Right. So I can't say that.
Yep. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, thank you for answering my question. And say, just from an inadmissibility standpoint, just coming back in, so you're saying a DV conviction is going to be viewed very negatively. Is that true?
That's fair. Yeah, that's true. I should probably do a whole video on this on DV. I probably should. Maybe I will. I'll make a note. That's going to take some research and stuff, but I can do that. That'd be good. A lot of people ask me about that, and then I could just tell them to go watch the video.
And from a green card perspective, is that also going to impact it?
Yeah.
Like even if you prove good moral character for 5 years, it's still going to impact it?
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Bye, Rahul. See you, buddy.
Yep.
All right. La Juji. Hello.
Hi, Jim. Thank you for having me.
How you doing?
Good. And you?
I'm great.
Yeah, nice weather in the Midwest. So
yeah.
Happy. I have a quick question. You might have this question before many times. I'm currently on H-1B. What is the USCIS regulations on opening an LLC in H-1B?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And what I say is there's sort of a conservative approach and an aggressive approach, right? So first thing you have to understand is that our laws haven't really been updated in 30 years. So there's lots of things that go on in the real world that USCIS isn't able to deal with, right? And so for people on F1s or H-1Bs, a lot of times they'll come and ask me, Jim, can I own property? Jim, can I start a company? Jim, can I start a company and do some work for it? So the first thing we have to think about is eventually at some point, we're going to have to defend ourselves in some future proceedings. Maybe it's an H-1B renewal. Maybe it's an H-1B visa stamp. Maybe it's a green card. Maybe it's even citizenship, right? So at some point, this might come up. So it depends on your comfort level and how close to the line you want to get, right? So obviously, the safest thing to do is to not start a business. Then there's not going to be any kind of a problem. Because the whole issue is whether or not you're working in the United States outside of your H-1B, outside of what you're authorized to do in the United States. So I would take the position that owning a business that you don't work for is defensible and allowable under the rules, right? Now, of course, I don't make the decisions, but I think that you can make a pretty good argument of owning a business that you do not work for is defensible. But then people always try to get clever. Well, what if I work for the company, but I don't take any money, but I own the business, so I'm getting this free labor, and then I'm getting money on the back end because the business is turning a profit due to my free labor. I think that's a lot harder to defend.
Okay.
right? So I think now if you're thinking, I want to start this business, have an employee or two, have them run it, and then maybe if it gets up and running, file for a second H-1B for me to tag along on that, that might be the right way to go. That's sort of how I usually talk to people about what you're asking.
Okay. And do you think, like you said, some point it might come up in the applications we have, like for renewals or stamping or a green card? Do you think, like for a green card, that might affect it, like in the process of green card, that the question may come up, like, have you owned a business in the past?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it doesn't come up that often, that particular question, have you owned a business in the past, but have you worked anywhere else comes up. And so it's closer to that. And I think then if they know about the company and you don't talk about it, then you're getting into misrepresentation territory. And that's where that's a problem. So you don't want to be too cute with it. I would most likely, if I owned a business, I would probably just go in there and say, yeah, I owned a business. No, I didn't work for it. I can prove I didn't work for it. And here's how I prove it. If you can't prove you didn't work for it or anything close to working for it, I think you're just inviting yourself a problem on the green card.
Okay.
But yeah, what I'm really worried about is the visa stamp.
Yeah.
Because then you're stuck outside the United States and they have all that discretion.
Yeah. Makes sense.
All right, buddy.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Chris is here. Hi, Chris.
Hi, thank you for doing this. Yeah, my question is, I came here through the DACA program, and so I was wondering like how I would get a green card if my sister's like I think 20, she's a citizen. And yeah, my stepfather owns like a company, I think it's a corporation. So I don't know if which way would be best to get a green card.
So just to be clear, you didn't come here through the DACA program. You were here without permission, and you got protection from deportation through DACA.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So DACA is not the kind of status that you can change status to, like a green card holder, through a sibling or through an employer, right? So really, it's not any status at all. It's basically just the government saying, we're not going to deport you and we're going to let you get a work card. That's what DACA is.
Mm-hmm.
So of course you should keep renewing it. Of course it's better than nothing, but it's not any kind of status that gets you the ability to change to a work visa or a family-based petition other than through marriage to a U.S. citizen or by being the parent of a U.S. citizen.
So marriage is the only way to get a green card at this point?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris. See you, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. AOS from H1 to GC USC. Hello.
How's it going, Jim?
Good. How are you doing?
Pretty good, sir. Pretty good. Hey, I have a question. Last year, 2023, October, I got my H-1B through my employer. And after that, in November, I applied for marriage-based green card. So right now my I-485 and my I-130 is pending. So if I plan to go to my home country, will I still need to go for the stamping for my H-1B, or how does the things work?
Well, is your spouse filed for you?
Yep.
And you filed for a 485?
Yep.
Did you get advanced parole?
No.
Are you planning on getting advanced parole?
I applied for I-131 too.
Yeah. So I know I was just talking to someone about this on a consult today. I know that H-1Bs can go and travel, but if you're having to get your passport stamped, what embassy are you talking about?
India.
Yeah, I hate that embassy when it comes to getting stamped. I can't tell you how many people I know who get stuck overseas. So if you can afford to get stuck over there for a few months, go ahead. Otherwise, wait for advanced parole. Okay. Or wait for your green card.
Okay. And also my case is currently pending in Hartford field office. It's pending from 1 month. So what's the next step after that? I mean, like how long does it take for Hartford office to process the cases?
I mean, nobody knows. Everything's unusual right now because we had this huge fee increase on April 1st. And according to traditional timelines, what we've been seeing for the last few years, it's probably going to take 10 to 12 months for you to get your green card. With a fee increase and extra submissions, it's still sort of up in the air how fast they'll do it, but I would say you're still probably 5 or 6 months.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
5 or 6 months from the priority date, or from the day it went to the field office?
From the date you filed.
Okay, that means I filed November last year.
Yeah, so you'll probably get if things go the normal way, it'll probably be October, November, something like that.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Jim.
You got it. All right. So Chris was just on talking about DACA, and Robert brought up the idea of going on advanced parole. I don't know about that, Robert. I might do that, but if you don't have something else in your back pocket, which the employment wouldn't be now because he'd be out of status by the time the visa became current, and obviously the sibling case doesn't get him anything. I don't know that I would leave on advanced parole if I don't have something waiting for me when I get back, like you did for your spouse. So I think I might hold off on that one. Everyone who's complaining about not getting in the waiting room, it's because the waiting room is full. So no complaining in the comments about not being able to get in the waiting room. It's only because the waiting room is full. Temmy's here. Hello, Temmy.
How you doing, boss?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Good, good. Sorry, the last time I think I need to correct myself. Later, when I read that thing very well and I listen to some of the conversation, I think his lawyer was right, because the council, they said for the DACA, they don't pay for the green card no more. So the credit card that he used, they cancel the credit card, that they return the money back to him. So I want to make it clear on here.
Okay, that's good.
So that is Bauer. So there's a friend of mine. He live in New York. She won asylum long time.
Okay.
But it's not here 5 years. But now she want to go to third country, which is Ghana. She don't want to go to Nigeria. Is it possible if a friend, family come and visit her there?
Sure.
Is it a problem for her?
Sure.
Huh?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's just what I wanted to clear the air for what I asked and let you know. So how are we going to do the 600 show?
We're not going to do much. We're going to have a little game. It's just going to be a regular Monday show on Monday.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Thank you so much.
See ya.
Thank you.
That's our old friend Temmie. Fred has been waiting. Hello, Fred.
Hi, Jim. At least I got a chance to get in. Yeah. Anyway, I have a hypothetical question. I do know a couple. Actually, the guy came here to the United States in H-1B, and of course, he got his 2 kids and wife as H-4. Now, it didn't turn out good, that H-1B, until that he overstayed, and then he continued to work until that the couple actually got the child after that, and then the third sibling actually, the third child became 21 years old. So the thing is, the couple originally have a pending petition before. The wife, I believe, she was being petitioned by her dad, and then the guy was petitioned by his sister. And for some reason, before they're going to file the adjustment of his status through the third child, which is a U.S. citizen here in the United States, they found out that the 2 petitions from the dad and the sister of the couple was also became current. And then they check it on the NVC, and then it pops up the first child actually aged out, but the second child is actually still as a derivative of the beneficiary. Now, my question is this, because since they're waiting for the adjustment of status result here in the United States, is it possible, let's say, if the couple became a green card holder, is it possible that they could make some adjustment of status for the derivative?
But
I mean, one that was actually on the original petition.
you're jumping past a huge problem. They can't adjust in the United States because they're out of status.
Okay. So it's not possible for that child who has been actually as a derivative of the original petition person, right?
They're all out of status, right?
Yes. Right now, the couple was already in process now. The third child, who's a U.S. citizen, he already filed a petition for his parents.
So they've been out of status for like 25 years.
Yes.
And the youngest child is a U.S. citizen.
Yes.
And this youngest child has two older siblings who were included on the cases filed by the aunt and uncle.
Why can't come again?
The children who aren't U.S. citizens were included on the applications that the aunt and uncle filed, right?
Yes.
And so you're asking me, can that benefit them somehow if mom and dad adjust through the U.S. citizen child?
Uh-huh.
No, they can't.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, because of the original child was already actually under the original petition.
Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
They're on their own.
Okay. I got you. All right. Yeah. That's only my question, that because, he asked me about that. So I told him, okay, I'm going to ask Jim, because I'm always watching you on YouTube, and you're really great. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Fred. See you, buddy.
Okay.
That sounded like a law school exam question to me. You got all kinds of moving parts on old Fred's case. Lewis is here. Hello, Lewis.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
Pretty good, except had a little snafu yesterday, and I was hoping you could help me. I've been watching your show here for quite a while.
Sure, tell me.
I got it. All right, sir. I'm an American sponsor. I'm local. I'm not far from you. I'm trying to sponsor my fiance from Cuba. And I started out last August with the wrong forms. I was advised by United States Senator file a 131 and a 134 for her. And found out through Cuba people there was the wrong form. I was to file the 134A. So in October I filed 134A, but in January I found out that there's 3 million Cubans that have filed the 134A, and there's only 50,000 visas. So after visiting her in January 1st of 24, and falling in love with her more, I came back and decided to file the 129F fiance form. And I've been tracking, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, I spent a lot of time and a lot of pages. I'm not dumb. I got 10 years of college, and I think I ended up with 160 pages of documentation just for the 129F. And I spent 4 hours a day for 16 days, and I sent it in expedited. I tracked it every day, and on May 6th, I wasn't even notified by USCIS that I was RFE'd. I was notified by my tracker. And then they said they were going to quit tracking my case with our RFE. That scared me half to death. And then, so I went every day I checked the USCIS account, and sure enough, that's what it said. I got an RFE, and I want to hire. I'm tired of all this. I shouldn't have got the RFE, but I did. I don't even know what it's about. I don't want to hire your law firm. I'm in a process of trying to do that, and I want to make you personally aware that I'm going to hire your law firm from now on, for this process, to get her here as quickly as we possibly can and get it done right.
Okay. So right now you don't know what the
And
RFE is for. You haven't received it yet?
No, I think they're going to do it by mail. I've received in the past, I've received communications from USCIS by mail, through text, and by email. I think this one will be by mail. I have no idea what it's for. I can tell you that I followed the letter of the law to the T. That
Yeah.
I filed 160 pages and still got an RFE.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. When you get it, send it to me and we'll look at it. Okay. And then we can get started.
Okay, there. I do have some questions for you, if you
Sure.
don't mind, sir.
Yep.
Is the 129F the best way to go, the quickest way to go, or should I just quit? Maybe start the 130 process. The 130 marriage process in Cuba is a big deal. In the United States, you can get married in some courthouses in 5 minutes. Just pay
Right.
$59 or whatever and fill out some forms. But in Cuba, they require all kinds of documents that have to be translated at different levels, and it costs thousands of dollars and a lot of time. And then the power outages in Cuba, USCIS doesn't understand this. The power is off 12 hours a day, sometimes long to 17 hours a day. So these offices aren't open in Cuba, and there's long lines if they are. So what is your suggestion on a 130 versus a 129F? And also, I document on a regular basis our relationship, all the video calls, the text messages, the financial support. Should I keep my account up, or should I forget all that and just any communications now should be through your law firm?
So when did you file that I-134 for the Cuban parole that you filed? How long ago was that? When did you start this whole process?
I started the very first one August 25th. I got it filed. It took 2 weeks to file that one. August 25th, I got a receipt date on the 131 and the 134. On
Last year,
the 134A, 2023.
Yeah, if you had asked me back then, I would have said, don't mess around with that. It's not a real program. It's going to get shut down. It's problematic. Nobody knows how to administer it. I would have said, don't do the Fiance case. I would say, do the I-130. But given what you've told me that you're sort of into it on the Fiance case, depending on if the RFE is something simple, then I'll probably suggest that you bite the bullet, go to Cuba, pay for the translations, and get married. And file an I-130 is much better than an I-129F, especially right now, because I-129Fs are at the bottom of the barrel of things that the State Department cares about. They're just slow walking them. Is there any kind of an age gap?
She's 41. I'm 71. There's also she's also trans.
Right. So I think you're going to have some trouble. I think you're going to have some trouble, and you might want to do the marriage route, just because otherwise you might have to do the whole thing twice.
Okay. So do you guys do the Cuban? It's quite extensive. Just to fill out the form for Cuba.
Yeah, Louis, you're breaking up. Go ahead and send me the RFE when you get it, and then we'll go from there. You're breaking up. I can't really hear you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Hopefully Louis heard all that. All right. Reed is here. Hi, Reed.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's really smoggy. Otherwise, I would show you the beautiful Chilean mountains that are just outside my window over here.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, hey, I have a question because my now husband and I were actually on our honeymoon here in Chile. He's Argentinian. I'm a native U.S. citizen, and we actually live full time in Argentina. So I've been in Argentina about a year and a half. We actually met when he was in the U.S. on a J1 visa. Fell in love there, but I'm divorced from someone who is not a U.S. or from someone who is a U.S. citizen. Other thing, but anyway, when we met in the U.S., wasn't quite ready to jump into another marriage. Is the long story short. So
Sure.
I ended up moving to Argentina, and the thing we're trying to figure out now is, we understand that the I-130 will probably take a year, and because we both work entirely remote jobs, we're not in any rush to move back to the U.S.
Yeah.
But I understand at some point we'll have to show that intent to domicile. So I'm curious how common that is. Is there a general rule of thumb on when I need to go back and that sort of process?
So just real quick before I forget, when he was on a J1, did he have the 2-year return home requirement?
He came in 2019, and I know there was an extension where they gave him like 6 more months, and then he did apply for a change of status to tourist because he does have a tourism visa. He ended up getting that denied because it was considered like an abandoned application. He left after 6 months. He was like, well, the visa is going to expire. But he was able to re-enter the U.S. in 2023 and was there for a couple months with no issues.
So when did he leave the United States?
He left the United States in February of 2022.
Okay, so we're cool. So even if he had the 2-year requirement to be back home, he's already satisfied that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So your domicile is not important for the first stage of things.
Okay.
Right? So you can file the I-130. Do you have like a U.S. address that you can use for everything?
Yeah, because I'm a W-2 employee.
Okay.
And just in the random case that my boss sees this, they're okay with me being here.
Okay, good.
But yes, I'm a U.S. employee. I have a U.S. address.
Okay, so we would use that address for the I-130. That would be pending for a year, and nobody really cares where in the world Reed is at that point, okay?
Okay.
Then when we get to the next stage at the National Visa Center and the affidavit of support stage, that's about the time that we're going to want to think about you coming back, I would say, for at least 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month, to sort of reestablish domicile, to nail down some ties, start thinking about where to live, what your partner is going to do, sort of nailing all that down. Sometime while you're here with the National Visa Center for 4 or 5 months. So sometime in there, you want to just build up a little bit of evidence. It doesn't have to be a lot, especially if you're a W-2 for a U.S. firm paying U.S. taxes. I think that's really all you have to worry about. It'll be fine.
And I did have a unique question about that because you mentioned paying taxes, and there was one of our main kind of proof of relationship, because we just got married a little over a week ago, but we've been together for 2.5 years at this point.
Yeah.
And a lot of our evidence will be through like pictures. We can have affidavits as well, but we have leases together, but they're here in Argentina. Is that any kind of issue in terms of support?
As long as they're translated, as long as you can translate them, that's all good stuff.
Perfect. And then because I've spent such a significant time outside the U.S., I actually qualify for the foreign income exclusion. So I do pay state taxes, but I don't actually I pay the federal taxes, but then there's the exemption because I do itemized taxes. Is that usually any kind of issue? Like, should I start paying taxes again?
Yeah, that can impact domicile, and also it can impact the affidavit of support. So you need to make sure that you demonstrate enough income to support your husband if you guys return to the United States.
Gotcha. So even though I'm a W-2 employee, if the adjusted gross income is lower because of exemptions, that could cause an issue. And
you would need a co-sponsor. Yep.
That's great to know. Okay. Awesome. That's, I think, pretty much clears up a lot of confusing information online. So
thanks, Reed. See you, buddy.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right, Marla's here. Hi, Marla.
Hi, Jim. How you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. I came up with the idea that I had to pass by your thought here. So my husband and I, we got married March 20th of this year, and we're working on marital evidence because he came over on a visitor's visa. I just came back from England. We took a lot of photos because I know that you said not any photos with selfies. That's not going to work.
Well,
Photos with other.
couple selfies are okay. You just don't want them to be all selfies.
Oh, oh, okay. So I'm definitely an overthinker. I think overthink everything. So I was thinking, wow, how we actually met was through a online CB radio chat, and our group will often chat together. And so, on top of the other marital evidence that I was looking into, would something like video with your daughter, my husband, and me screenshot, would that work? I thought that'd be a good question.
That's fine.
It's fine.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that was pretty much what I was wondering. I mean, since sometimes distance and, the expense of traveling back and forth, although we have both totaled 6 visits back and forth, I think that was the only question I really wanted to ask is video calling with other people on the call included in marital evidence that
Sure.
other people know of your relationship?
Sure. That's good stuff.
Cool. Okay.
Thanks,
That's
Marla.
all I had to ask. Simple
Yeah.
question.
Okay, bye. Ali is here. Hello, Ali.
Hey Jim, hey Mike, remember?
Yeah, people
How
call
you
me
doing?
Mike. That's right. I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. So I have a quick update about my father case, the 221G. So they changed on the state website. That's the visa. It's been expired because you haven't follow up with us or you haven't checked something like that. So I sent an email to U.S. Embassy in Baghdad, and I told them, hey, what's going on? Like I've been following with, for my father case every month, and you guys say it's under administrative process. So it takes some time, and then there's another guy email me. It's not like the usual answer. Looks like a supervisor or something, and he say, hey, can you send us this document? We want like medical, we want this, and we want like his military service. We sent that already last year, and we want his original passport. So does that mean they don't usually ask for his original passport? This is the first time that they ask for his original passport. So does that mean it's a positive sign, or?
Yeah, I think that's all sounds good to me.
Okay.
What's the military service?
So they want his military book service, something like that.
What was his service? That's what I mean. In Iraq, what did he do?
He was in the air defense.
Was he high level, low level?
Yeah, high level.
Bath party?
Yeah, he was like basic. I mean, not too crazy, like in bath party. Yeah, but he been here a few times. He came to America a few times.
Yeah, but it's easy to get a visit visa. It's harder to get a green card. But that's good. Sounds like a good progress.
Yeah, I've been sending like an email, so to like Biden office, and then they contact the State Department. Like I've been like bugging them like for 6 times. So the State Department last time they emailed me from DC, and he say it's still under administrative process, and I did that this year, but they didn't get back to me. I didn't get an email from Washington DC.
Did your dad have an interview or no interview yet?
So he had an interview back in 2017.
Yeah. So either they're not going to let him come, or you need to sue him. It's one or the other. It might be because of the bath party stuff, the military stuff.
Yeah. So we will wait. We'll see. Like I'm going to send all those documents and original passport, and if there's nothing, this is the last chance.
Thanks, buddy. Good luck.
Yeah. Thanks, Jim. Bye.
Yeah. Alex is here. Hello, Alex.
Hi, can I be off camera? Is that okay?
You got it. Yep.
How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. I kind of have an unfortunate situation. It's a bit unique. Was hoping to kind of see if there's any way to kind of make the best out of a bad situation. So I initially entered the US on an F1 visa. But I had an internship that was unpaid. No compensation at all. Nothing changed hands in cash or in kind. But there was an unfortunate incidents where a few family members passed away toward the end. So unfortunately, I think I didn't keep track of the CPT dates. My mother was also hospitalized, so I might have volunteered some extra time with the company inadvertently. But also the company was a startup, and none of the people that they employed at the time had any kind of compensation. So later on, I ended up like changing status to H1B. Lost my job there. Changed status to B2, and I think there's a question they ask, have you ever violated status? And I think I had just volunteered a few extra, like it was like a small amount of time, maybe like 2 weeks or so. It was kind of, I didn't think much of it at the time, but on the H1B to B2 I-539, I think I might have said, no, I did not violate status, as I thought that it's not really compensated. And also now that I'm looking online, there are some universities that say that CPT is strongly recommended.
The
But
what? What's strongly recommended?
CPT, like I just went beyond the dates a little bit. So now I'm not sure what's the best course of action.
So let's back up. When did you enter the United States on your F1?
It was about 2019.
And did you already have a degree back home, or was this for your first degree?
This was for my second degree in the US. It was a master's degree.
Okay. And when did you start school? In 2019?
Yeah.
When did you start CPT?
It was about like maybe the end of 2020.
So you did a full year and a half of studies before you started CPT?
Yeah, I had done a few years. I had my undergrad on the same F1, and then I had that F1 transferred to the master's program. So I waited a year in the master's program before starting the CPT.
And when you were doing CPT, you still carried a full course load?
Yes.
Okay. And so was the CPT was authorized by the school?
Yes, it was.
And it was just to be for one semester?
Yeah, but I mean, I think, yeah, so I had I had a parent and other family members kind of pass away toward the end. It was COVID as well. So I think I did not think, I also was not much in a headspace to think, and the school
Sure.
was, so I think I accidentally went beyond, but in my mind, I was just helping out with some small things. Because I had missed some time due to my parents passing away. Right. So it was just like maybe a period of 2.5 weeks. Then I ended up getting the H1B. So I just did a change of status to H1B. So I've never left. And I think my problem is that, the H1B to B2 I-539. So I mentioned no, but I think that was that was maybe an accident. So I'm not sure
What are you currently on, the B1, B2?
B2, yeah.
For how long? What's your plan?
Probably to find a job, or actually I'm applying to jobs in other countries as well. So just waiting to.
Well, when did your B1, B2 start?
Maybe a month ago.
Okay. So this is all sort of fresh.
Yeah.
So there's nothing active right now. I don't know that you violated the terms of your status. I don't know. I mean, you're saying that throughout the CPT period, you did not get paid?
There was no payment, nothing exchanged hands. Nobody else in the internship was paid. There was no expectation of payment once I graduated, or once the internship was over. It was purely, I think even the extra time that I spent was just purely just helping out. It wasn't even work in a sense. It was kind of like volunteering, even though it was already an unpaid internship. The extra time was a bit like volunteering.
Yeah.
And also, I think I would not have. I'm generally very careful. It's just the fact that I had so many people pass away. So my mind was, when the internship supervisor was like, "Hey, do you mind like letting me know what this was that you did in the internship?" My mind was not able to process like, okay, like I need to do extend my CPT. I need to do X, Y, and Z.
So
And
I think it's very understandable what happened. I don't think that you violated the terms of your status because you weren't getting paid, so you weren't working without authorization. I think this might not ever come up. I think that you can honestly say that you don't know for sure that you violated the terms of your status, so you put no. I think that's a legit position, and I probably wouldn't work too hard to figure out exactly if you did or not. It sounds like to me like you didn't, and I might just leave it at that.
I think my problem is that I said no on the I-539,
Yeah.
and if I do get a job, you know,
I think no's the right answer.
yeah, if I do get a job, I do want to eventually be in the space where I can, because again, like my sister is sick, so I do have some familial responsibility, so I do want to and leave whenever I get a job, or even if I don't, I do want to be enter and leaving the country. So I don't know what to say on my DS 160 because I might have done something technically wrong, but I have honestly never intended to, violate any
I don't
rules.
think it's a matter of your intent or not. It's a matter of whether or not you did, and I don't think that you did.
So I think my
I think your DS 160 answer should be consistent with your change of status answer.
Okay. I think I don't want the visa officer to accuse me of misrepresentation.
I understand, but I don't see the misrepresentation. You didn't get paid for work that you were supposed to do. You're not even sure if you did work overtime, and you weren't being paid. So I don't know how you violated the terms of your status. So I don't know how you make a misrepresentation. As long as you list the date you started and the date you ended, let them ask questions. But I don't see any evidence that you
I
worked
think
without
so.
authorization.
Technically, the date that I ended, technically, it's beyond the CPT date by a period of about 2 weeks.
But you
But
weren't being paid.
Sorry?
You weren't being paid.
Repeat, sorry?
You weren't being paid.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, my internet cut out. So I should mention the dates as they were, and
Yeah.
I should just still write no in the answer.
I believe so.
And do you think, like, I mean, sorry for asking so many questions. I think in your experience, like, what do you think is the officers, like, the consular officers, like, what is their perspective on this? Are they going to be angry? Am I going to be denied, barred from the US for life?
I don't think so. I don't think they're even going to notice that you stayed working for free 2 extra weeks for some college internship.
But wouldn't they see the dates and match it to my I-20 or?
Yes, but sweetheart, they're not going to try that hard. They're not going to work that hard.
Okay. Do you think it's dangerous for me to, not dangerous, but do you think it's eventually, if I find a job or if I want to travel back to the US, do you think that it's okay if I attempt that? Do you think it's okay I go ahead with the green card applications for EB2 if I get to that point, or do you think I should just abandon everything?
I think you're being really, 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 really hard on yourself. And I think you're overthinking this. And I think this is not an issue for you.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you so much. I think I did want to have, I whenever I attempt to re-enter the country, I'll probably try to join the show again just for some additional questions if they come up. But you've been a massive help, Jim. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry about your parents.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, Alex. All right. I-130 approved and I-212 pending. Hello.
Hi, Jim. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So, Jim, my wife and I have recently had our I-130 petition approved.
Yeah.
We have also received the welcome letter with the invoice ID from the embassy, which is great. However, I am currently subject to a 5-year bar because in the past I was returned to my home country under determination of inadmissibility 235 with a 5-year bar. I have filed the I-212 waiver, and we are expecting a response by March 2025 based on USCIS processing times for this matter. Was that
Yeah.
clear so far?
Yep.
Okay, so our main concern and question for you is to please tell us whether it's advisable to hold on submitting the NBC required documentation, including the DS-260 form, affidavits, taxes, and so on, until my waiver is approved, or if you recommend us to proceed with the full NBC 6 steps process,
I don't think
submitting,
I don't think they'll let you.
oh no, even though we have the invoice ID?
I mean, I would say push it as far as you can, but I think they'll stop you.
Oh, okay.
In other words, keep going, but I think that once you make the payments, that's gonna be the pause for the next steps while the waiver works itself out.
Okay, we already done the payments, and we were just worried about just submitting everything and going to attending to a final embassy interview in my home country with the bar still in place.
Yeah. Can you email me? I just want to do a little bit of checking, and then I'll let you know what I think. I don't want to give you bad advice.
Okay, sure, I will do it. I'm sorry, can you please tell me how much would you charge us for represent us for the remaining steps of our process?
I want to see how far you've gone and what you did. Probably somewhere between $4,000 and $10,000. But to look everything over, I'm not going to charge you.
Okay, that's nice. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for that. Should I say anything specifically in the
Yeah.
emails?
Just say I was just on the show on Thursday with Jim at the 50-minute mark.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much, Jim. Have a great day.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. We got about 10 minutes left, and I-797B Doubt. Hello. You're on mute or something. I can't hear you.
Yeah. So, hi, Jim. This is Sana. And the question is, I'm currently on my STEM OPT second year, and I have an approved I-797B from my current employer. So now my employer is filing a change of status, amendment, and extension, and I'm going with the premium processing. So it's a counselor process, right? So will there be any unexpected questions or concerns which I need to be aware of? I'm planning to go in next few weeks, and yeah.
So let's start at the beginning. Tell me your immigration history.
I came to US in F1, and my H1B got picked in the first year itself after my graduation. Then I applied for OPT, and then STEM OPT, and now I have a stable job. So I want to go ahead and change my visa status to H1B.
So which year did you get selected for the H-1B? This year?
Not this year. In 2022.
But you stayed on OPT? You didn't change to an H-1B?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Because I wanted to explore more options in terms of my career, in terms of the field which I'm going to choose. Before I'm working as a software engineer right now, so I wanted to stick to one field, and I was hopping onto data engineer and software engineer. So H1B doesn't provide that flexibility to keep changing the employers. So that's the reason I have that flexibility with OPT. So that's the reason I was.
Who told you this was a good idea?
My employer.
I've never heard of anyone doing this. So walk me through it. So company A sponsored you for an H-1B. When you were on OPT, were you working for company A or company B?
I'm working for company A until then to till now. I'm with the same employer.
You're on A the whole way?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you you get selected in the lottery in 2022, like right after you graduated, right when you're in your very first OPT. And instead of starting the H-1B, are you from India?
Yes.
So you wanted to keep as many years of possibility that you had. So you kept the OPT and then just went to STEM OPT without changing to the H-1B.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever heard of anyone else doing this? I've never heard of anyone else doing this.
I heard, but it's I-797B B. So they said I can activate my visa status when I want to hop onto the H1B.
Okay. All right. Who told you that?
My employer.
Okay. All right. So now the time has come where you
Mhm.
want to go ahead and start processing the H-1B. You want to do your change.
Uh-huh.
And what have you done for that? That's been approved?
The packet has sent out to the USCIS, and I have applied for a change of status, amendment, as well as the extension. As my OPT is expiring next year, January 2025, January.
And that's been receipted?
Sorry?
The
No,
fee?
I haven't received the receipt notice yet.
Okay. And you said they paid for premium processing?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I'm with you now. What's the question now?
So it's a counselor process, right? So will there be any unexpected questions or concerns which I need to be aware of while I go for the interview?
Yeah, dude. I mean, India is a terrible consulate. They love to mess with people. I hate this plan, and I'm nervous for you going back. You're going to throw them for a total loop. They're going to look for some way to screw you. I mean, for all I know,
Mhm.
the H-1B, I guess it's still held because you're still with the same employer. But I mean, they're always talking about unused H-1Bs. I'm just worried that maybe it went away.
So instead of India, can I go to any other country like Canada?
You can try, but they won't take you.
Mm.
If you're invalid F1, why does it have to be consular?
Because it's a 797B.
Okay, you keep saying that. That's just the receipt notice. I don't know. I-797B. I don't even know what that means. But, there's people that know more than me. What is an I-797B? Yeah, it's just a receipt notice. So you have the I-94. You don't have the I-94, right, for the H-1B?
No.
Yeah, I-797B is just the receipt notice. It's just a notice of action. This is very screwy to me.
I have it. It's an approval notice, right? The 797B, but it's approved. H1B is approved.
Yeah.
But no change of status. I got it approved. It is approved, but there's no change of status to H1B.
And your employer's telling you that you have to do this at the consulate. You can't do a change of status here.
He said I can do the change of status here. That's we are doing everything here. But if I am crossing the border to get it stamped, I need to go to the consulate, right? So for that, will there be any problem?
I hope not.
Okay. So it's approved. Sorry, my bad. I didn't keep it clear with you.
Nope, that's okay. The 797B was the actual approval notice.
Yes.
But you don't have, and so there should be an I-94 down in the bottom right-hand corner, right?
But it's if I look at the no I-94 for me, I don't have.
So who has it? The employer?
No. So it's there's no I-94, Jim. It's just I'm still it still has F1 status on it. I'm still in STEM OPT. I just have I-797B approved H1B notice. That's it.
If you want to send me everything, I can take a look at it. But
Sure.
This sounds problematic to me.
Mm-hmm. I'll get, once the process is done, like my change of status amendment and everything is done, that's when I'll get the I-94. Yeah, I can still send out the documents to you.
Okay. But I think, are you just basically asking me, Jim, once it gets approved and I go back home for stamping so that I have the H-1B stamp in my passport, am I going to have a problem? That's your question?
Yes, with the counselor questions, or is there anything I need to be aware of or concerned about?
I mean, no offense. I would ask the people who told you this was a good idea that question. I mean, I think anything's fair game. I think hopefully they'll just give you the stamp. But, people get stuck all the time outside of India, outside of the country in India for H-1B stamps that are much simpler than yours.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, there are people that do a lot more H-1Bs than I do, and maybe this is a common thing, but literally you're the first person to ever tell me that you didn't grab the H-1B as soon as you can and stayed on OPT. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying I haven't heard of that. And so then I don't know what questions the consulate would ask you, and I don't know if that's a curveball for you or not. It seems to me like some asshole in India could make it hard for you, but that's always true, and I'm always going to say that.
Okay.
All right.
I'll reach out to you. I'll send out the documents which I have, and
Okay. I can talk it around here too with other people in the office.
Yeah, sure, Jim. Thank you.
Okay, bye. All right, that'll do it. That's the 1 hour mark. I'm off to San Diego. We are going to do a show tomorrow. Tomorrow's show is at 10 a.m. Central. 10 a.m. Central. So it'll be early on the West Coast, 8 a.m. Central on the West Coast for me and for Nurse Laura. That'll be our last show of the week. Then we'll do our next show, episode number 600, on Monday at 4 p.m. as usual. Hope you all have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.